Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Road to Rio. And like all good series, we are ending it on Inferno as our third map decider. My name is Hawker, joined by Dean. Let's just jump into it, Dean. We're right into the action with some battles on Banana. Config gets a very quick kill there.
Yeah, strong opening for Complexity, something that they probably need after a pretty poor ending there on Dust 2. And coming into Inferno, this is a strong map for both of these teams, so I am expecting it to be a close one. It's a bit of a middle ground one, so I do hope that we're going to have yet another competitive one on our hands, similar to what we had back on map number 1. But Vitality for the moment, with of course that disadvantage that you pointed out with Zywoo going down early on, they kind of slowed things down. They are still looking to favor over towards Banana. But if they do go in that direction, Complexity have still kept that 3-man stack in place. As I say, I might jinxed it a little bit. Obo was beginning the rotate. He will realize pretty soon that they've taken contact and again position himself back towards this B bomb site so that they can try and hold this down. But a smoke towards the CT spawn certainly could help. Obo looking like he may want to try and fight that one. A little bit dangerous for sure. It's going to be more so on towards these players towards the back of the bomb site to see what they can find. And so far, Config just tapping away, already adding 2 kills to his name. Actually helped out there by Obo to get that one. And I was going to say, at the very least, wasting time around this pillar, but he just goes ahead and finishes off Shocks.
Yeah, Config's raw aim is ridiculous sometimes. Some of the plays he can get away with, some of the shots he can land. If you can unlock Config, you are on for a very, very good team. And right now, he's playing well on this Complexity lineup. A great quad kill, just battering them on the B-bomb site. He started off the round and then closed it out for Complexity. And that means Vitality, finally, Dean, we're not seeing a second round force spike because they didn't get that bomb plant. They're actually taking a save for once.
Yeah, just looking to see what they can find with those Glocks, and you only really see RPK there trying to charge up Banana on his own. I'm not sure if maybe the others did want to go with him, but kind of called it off then as soon as the smoke and Molly went down, realizing they couldn't really help him out. Instead, now bringing it over towards mid, where they will be allowed to cover some ground at the very least. But as I said, with only Glocks, I'm not expecting much from them. Poison, he's able to just go ahead and build a bank towards his op, actually. So that's a nice little find for him. A little bit unfortunate. Ideally, Vitality there would have wanted to avoid it, actually giving over those kills to the SMGs.
Yeah, that's literally a situation where I think it's worst case scenario to give Poison all the money. Like, you can maybe get away with giving it to one of the SMGs, but Poison getting all the cash, making sure he can get an AWP if he wants it, is unfortunate, but he's not going to make the most of it. He's going to stick with the MP9 as Complexity take a bonus round. Not a single premium rifle in play, just the 2 FAMASs, the 3 MP9s. So we could see some aggression here. We could see some risks taken by Complexity because they can't really hang in terms of the weaponry right now.
No, and I guess that risk that you're buying out is, again, to just go for that 3-man early stack over towards Banana and try and fight for control. But instantly, Vitality, straight out mid, they're able to catch Poison, then trying to aggress back up through short and see if they can find some control. And with that, Vitality just wrapping in on the bomb site. Rush is hiding in the pit, to be fair, but with an MP9, unless they all close into distance, he's probably not getting more than a frag or 2. And even then, that's not going to be allowed by Vitality. So this round pretty much confirmed, as you said, with the weaker weapons in play, they didn't really upgrade, so they're still going to be coming onto the buy in the next. But it seems like they're still going to try and at least save these over, especially with utility available on both Obo and Config. The kit as well available. It's definitely worthwhile.
And not going to be looking for any exit kills either. They could have maybe thrown that incendiary into pit if they were going to be really cheeky, if Obo was looking for some kills at the end here. But you don't even take too much damage in pit depending on where the bomb's planted. I think they'll maybe take 70, 80 damage here is what I'd roughly expect. It might even be less sometimes. There we go, yeah, only about 50 damage. So that molly probably wouldn't have made a massive difference. It is weird that you can save in pit on Inferno and not take much damage from the bomb. It doesn't feel right sometimes, but it's safe.
I think if it's planted default, it does like 70 damage or something along those lines. If it's a little bit further back into the site, as you said, it does do less. So they were good. They were able to carry on over, but yeah, I mean, I remember you used to be able to do it on Dust 2. I'm not sure if you can anymore. If you went over towards the car and if you were full health, normally you'd survive the bomb explosion.
Yeah, I think you can still. I think it's about, I don't know the exact damage, but I'm pretty sure you can survive it at least. Poison's got that AWP out now, by the way, so that earlier MP9 money is now coming into play with the sniper in his hand. Okay, not anymore. Shocks with the drive-by. Poison there will be a bit disappointed with that, but sometimes people are just going to land bangers against you, and that's the case here. Apex almost gets the transfer, but his teammates get the cleanup, and this is a very fast-paced round from Vitality, just going off that pick they got.
Yeah, no, that was insane. Apex just mowing them down on short as well. Only been able to get himself the 1 kill, but also done a considerable amount of damage onto the second player, allowing for his teammates to easily follow it up. And again, Vitality, I mean, trading really effectively on towards that bomb site and just limiting complexity to not even really be able to attempt to retake, especially this time, saving over because they're really not going to have much else in this next round. Obo, in theory, could buy for himself. BlameF could go ahead and drop over the MP9 and with that get himself a rifle, but I don't think that's too likely. Considering they'll be getting 2400 then in the next round, it is probable, or rather, it is most likely just going to be maybe a couple pistols being upgraded behind what they currently have. But a clean round again from Vitality, that's a good sign. They're able to get off to a strong start here once the guns come out, despite actually dropping the pistol, of course, and really not taking many casualties has already given them a position where after only 2 rounds in a row, they do have a pretty decent economy behind them.
They're going to be nice and comfortable for these early rounds in this T side. Complexity, though, not in the same situation. They have a bit of a buy going for them. Obo's bought Kevlar. He's got some more money, so he buys the Desert Eagle. Config's the only man who saved a rifle, and for what it's worth, Config yet to die in this game. He's been playing the save game so far on that B side of the map, but this time Config is going to play A, getting aggressive with this rifle. This could work. Shox doesn't have his gun out, so Config gets a quick kill. Oh, damage done as he backs away, but he will get away with his life.
Yeah, and considering they do have another player there being Obo, who only has the Deagle at the moment, and Kevlar, and I was going to say is around the A-bomb site. He could have traded that rifle over, but deciding against it for now, instead keeping it in his own hands, rotating over on towards B, where most of the pressure so far has been shown from Team Vitality. They were able to do a little bit of damage to BlameF. The issue is it was also traded back. Apex at this point has been dinked down to 9 health. So this is a very strong start for the CT side, especially as they've called for that B stack, which does seem to be kind of the goal for Vitality. Not for sure, considering they do have so much time still to work with, but without that mid control especially, they can't really be leaving it too late to start moving back, because they would have to spend a considerable amount of time actually clearing out positions. Look at this. This is ballsy from Config. Traded weapons with BlameF and decided to go aggressive with the MP9. Gets a lot of info about what's going on, but now there's a lot of pressure on this rifle to hold down.
Nice kill from Masuta as well. Just swings out wide. Zywoo gets the assist. And Vitality just basically run together onto the B site. They know that if the first man goes down, they can probably trade it out, even if they are against the rifle. So nice stuff from Vitality there to be able to win those battles. And unfortunately for Complexity, it's only the pistols left standing. So good stuff from Vitality getting a third round together. And unfortunately for Complexity, the idea to push Banana might not have been a bad one, but the flashbang didn't do as much as they wanted it to. It wasn't quite effective enough. So even though Config gets some early information, he doesn't get the early kill that he was hoping for. And now it's just all about maybe some exit kills for Complexity as Obo has a little look. Oh, Russia's got this AK as well. That's nice.
Yeah, not bad. Obo went in to see if he could actually retrieve anything, hoping that maybe something would have been around, but obviously knowing that he couldn't spot anyone, not going to be able to get a weapon at this point. The only one that was dropped already retrieved. So it's a decent recovery. It certainly helps them, considering looking at 3 players in the range of 4,000 to 5,000 definitely leaves them a little bit more limited in terms of how many nades they'd be able to buy up if they had to get the M4 themselves. So it adds a little bit more to this investment, and obviously being on the CT side of Inferno, those nades, the smokes, the Molotovs, the flashes, they're very important for holding choke points and also for trying to take control early on in the round if that's the goal. I don't think that'll be the case over towards Banana too aggressively, at least, because they have just gone with the 2 players, going back to a bit more of a standard setup, and instead trying to face in towards middle and just getting wrecked by Shox.
Shox has been landing shots in that position. I mean, we don't get to see them in this round because Auto Director hates us, but still. Oh,
useless.
What a shot from Apex as well over the top of the wall. There's not much in his head there. Well, there you go. At least the stream got it. We're seeing more than Dean is. And it's 2 Complexity players left. This is not how they envisioned this round to begin with.
No, certainly not. 2-on-5. They'd done some damage, obviously, to Shox in those initial exchanges on mid. Yeah, no, Poison's just quickly restarted, and apparently he had a quick FPS drop. It duplicates a player, does it? Is that what's happened?
Yeah, I've got RPK on the Complexity side, which doesn't seem right. We've got 2 Apexes.
Be a ball in lineup, though.
As well. Yeah, true. And 2 Apexes, 2 in-game leaders, double the brain power. It is the same brain, duplicated, though, so it's not quite as good.
You could He could probably combine them though. Shocks. Okay, he's got the timing on blame. All right. That has gone ahead and opened up B. Yeah, I was going to say they probably will just run back with this now. But they actually just find that aggression immediately from Obo trying to peek on a mid. Yeah, Poison, as I said, just had a few FPS drops, so he is quickly restarting his game. He shouldn't be too long coming back. Obviously, you can't see the chat, Haka, since you have to turn it off, so it's not shown on stream. So just keeping you updated.
Thank you very much, Dean. It's good to
I
have
think he might have been
someone
having issues before the map too, because it took him a little bit longer than everyone else to actually join up the server.
Hopefully that's not too much of an issue for him as this goes on. Complexity are definitely having some issues right now just in terms of round wins though, because again they're going to have to take a lower buy ahead of this one. They've already bought a couple of nades, which we might see stacked on Banana. You can sometimes stack them down mid as well, although that's not as easy to do and actually connect them. Shocks has been going for those aggressive fights down mid though, so if you could line up those nades onto Shocks, that would be nice, because he's getting a lot done in that mid position. But I think Vitality will be aware they're against a lower buy. They might be able to dodge away from these nades.
Yeah, a few HEs coming out for Complexity. As you said, could certainly do some damage here. But that depends. Vitality, they should be known, obviously, that they are up against a weaker investment as well. So I don't know if we'll see as much aggression from them immediately in the beginning. They'll probably use their Molotovs, try and deny the CTs from being able to push forward on Banana, maybe hold that mid push as you see happening right now. But I don't think they're going to try and really force the issue themselves. And indeed, just kind of splitting out into that default, waiting to see what happens. And actually sending a few players up Banana, so this could get a little bit dangerous. That nade being fairly well timed. It does do a small bit of damage onto Apex, but the Molotovs now coming in return actually are going to cause a lot of trouble for Complexity. That nade as well, alongside obviously the AK bullets now just mowing them down. Completely destroys any hope in this round for Complexity really to be able to do much with those pistols. Not a round that we were expecting a lot though, to be fair.
Yeah, that was a really cool round from Vitality, just being aware of the possibility of players lining up nades at top Banana. Got to give Apex some credit for that. And I've noticed that Apex has some really cool ideas for these sort of individual little plays across the map where he can maybe read what the opponents are doing. I think sometimes Vitality can struggle with kind of the pacing of their team or the spacing or the trades. But overall, I think Apex has got some cool ideas. If he can develop his skills as an in-game leader, I'm excited to see how that pans out. And in that round, they read Complexity like a book. So good work from Vitality, but here comes the real test. Poison's back on the AWP, so hopefully his issues are not going to be bothering him anymore as Complexity are back on a buy.
One thing worth noting right now is that Zywoo is only sitting at 1-2, so the fact that, again, Team Vitality aren't really relying on him to be able to get off to such a strong start is a good sign, because he could step up at any moment. As we know, he is an incredible player. Not going to be often for the AWP on the T side of Inferno. That's not incredibly surprising. As you said, though, Poison will have one, so that is going to be something that Vitality have to challenge up against in this round. But it's not really being taken very aggressive at all by Complexity. Instead, just stacking up around mid, actually rotating over a fourth player as well to join them, and entrusting Config for the moment to solo hold that B bomb site. And they are going to lose that Banana control eventually. I mean, Vitality are taking their time. There's some smokes down and stuff holding them off, but eventually you will, as always, see them moving forward and being able to find that pretty much for free, with likely a lot of time as well for them to actually utilize it.
Config has been one of the shining beacons so far in this game for Complexity. His aim has been looking on point. When he's taken fair fights, he's generally won them. So having him on this B site is nice, but we need to see some more resistance on the A-bomb site for Complexity right now. Smoke deployed by Misuta, but Vitality are going to be grouping up over on Banana. There's the AWP for Poison here alongside Config, and Poison again misses a shot. Now Config has got a really tough task on his hands, and he's not going to be able to deliver. RPK with the double entry onto B, and Vitality just keep on winning these fights so quickly that Complexity can't do anything to stop them.
And apparently that flash was fantastic from Zywoo, because the second that peek came in from RPK was when actually the flash came over from Zywoo and completely blinded Config. Fail on that words again, that happens.
I like Arwoo. I think
Arwoo,
every
yeah,
single Vitality player should just change their name to like S-Woo, M-Woo, A-Woo. We don't need Apex, we need A-Woo. That's the missing piece. Yeah, Moo. That would be a weird one.
Yeah, just a little bit. But no, fantastic entries by RPK, but as I said, very well supported by Zywoo to actually perfectly time and position that flash. RPK didn't really have that much resistance to go through, especially from the second player. I was a little bit worried there for BlameF because he was actually peeking up for a moment, but in the end, 3 players managed to save over. The only issue right now for Complexity is that already they're down 6-2. Vitality have already got themselves what would be considered a decent T side. They have a good foundation to keep increasing on that and try and make it fantastic. And you can see, obviously, Complexity realizing the pressure that's on. This is the final map of this series. They're calling in for their first tactical pause. I maybe would have liked it a little bit earlier, though, if I'm being honest. Maybe going into that previous gun round. But I guess they had a tactical pause before that to talk as well.
True.
Technical.
Yes. Yeah, I think Complexity had a kind of similar start on Dust 2, didn't they? Where they had a bit of a slow start to the half, and then they kind of came alive. But then in the second half, they ended up getting wrecked anyway. So we'll see if these slow starts are kind of a theme for Complexity. Hopefully not, because 6-2 down is not an easy position to come back from, especially like you were saying, because the economy for Vitality is just unreal at this point. You've got 4 players in the 5 digits. A few of them are nearly maxed out on money. That's how comfortable Vitality are right now. And it's looking good for them as the chicken is the first casualty of the round. The molly takes down the chicken on Banana, but the players are pretty safe, except for BlameF. He's taken a nade to the face.
Yeah, big F.
Big F indeed.
Right now, the main focus, at least for Vitality, isn't over towards Banana, so it shouldn't be the biggest of deals unless it comes down to the retake for BlameF. But at the moment, his teammates are indeed finding that success that they need. Rush holding the angle from the pick, gets the opening headshot, trying to come out and get the trade. Then Obo on the bomb site is able to just go ahead and follow up on that second player. So pretty quickly, I mean, a strong advantage for Complexity. A player still up close on short, though, being Apex, is keeping the pressure on. The issue is he has no teammates around him. They're waiting for that long smoke to go away so RPK can make a move. And obviously only now is the bomb actually beginning to come in and join up alongside of them. One from Apex, one from RPK as well, but he needs to go ahead and clear out this pit if they want the site. And it works. Shox needs to hurry, though. The smoke now beginning to fade away. He will come in, was being cautious as a library. So the bomb's going to go down in a 2-on-2. I honestly wasn't expecting this to happen. It looked like Complexity had pretty much everything they needed, including plenty of time to get into position.
Vitality have found a way, though, and RPK keeps going in this round. That's his 3rd frag, and Config is left in the 1 versus 2, trying to clear out both these angles. He knows RPK's position, but he's not entirely sure where Shox is playing from. Smoke for the site, but the time is against him. He goes for the fight, and RPK is just landing shot after shot. The tank rolls them over in round number 9, and Vitality are playing unbelievably well right now.
Yeah, maybe my mistake was just a prediction because RPK is looking more like the carry of this team so far. Even back on map number 1, he played insane on Mirage. It was, of course, we seen him pick up. I think it was like a couple rounds into the game. He was already like 9-1 after picking up a massive 4K on one of the gun rounds towards B. So he's been fantastic throughout this entire series, and it's kind of what they needed because Zywoo, apart from back on Dust 2, he hasn't been playing quite to the level you expect. And overall, I think that's a pretty good sign that Vitality are still delivering like this.
Yeah, especially here on Inferno, because he hasn't really had to do anything, is the nice part. It's not like he's even been left in a situation where you'd say Zywoo needs to step up right now. It's not happened. It's just been his teammates carrying round after round. Top mid control taken in this one for Vitality. Again, they've left the bomb back, so it's just a bit of early map control gained, but it's cost them quite a lot of health across the board. 3 players down to roughly half health, and that could be another. Zywoo down to 12 HP now. It's not been his game so far, as he's not even seen an opponent, and he's almost dealt with. It's Masuta to get the opening kill of the round, though, and it should be okay for Vitality, even with that early damage taken.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they use their numbers, they need to be a little bit cautious. They don't want any of these players going down and giving rifles away, potentially. As I said, that the nade does come in from BlameF to actually get rid of Zywoo, but I don't think it's going to... You do see BlameF for the moment now being pretty much the sole defender on B, already just backed off in towards construction. Well, rather wasn't really able to get an opportunity at all. He was smoked off and had to rotate into construction. And I believe both of those players, or at least one of them, being spotted on the flank. Indeed, Obo now also being noted there. Masuda going to hold that one down. And yeah, really Complexity at this point. They're just looking to see if they can go ahead and get a couple of kills. But even then, I mean, the economy for ages now has been completely out of control over on the side of Team Vitality. They've got plenty of money.
Ooh, BlameF is out of bullets with the CZ. This is awkward. He drops the smoke. He's got the knife out. It's not going to happen, though. RPK locks him.
I like it.
He had to do it. He had to do it. He had to try and do something. Because because right now Complexity are not having any success. It has been a simple puzzle for Vitality to solve. RBK again, 12-2 so far in this game. Only died twice. He's had that M4 for so long now. He's not even gone for the AK. He's happy with the M4A4. And fair play to him because it's been working. And finally, we're seeing ZywOo even decide to take the AWP, which hasn't happened so far on this T side of Inferno. Some teams don't like to run that AWP. But ZywOo's decided, you know what? I want to get involved in the action. I want to get the AWP into my hands. And we'll see if he can make the most of it.
I mean, it makes sense in this situation when the rest of his teammates are all being so successful with the entries because he has been sticking to the back of the pack, and if he's doing that with the op, then he can still definitely contribute. And right now, they are just actually going straight up mid. As I said that though, I noticed ZywOo was the one that actually led the charge, surprisingly. Not the first man to actually be taken down because BlameF and Rush are the two players for the CT side who do begin to frag. Eventually, ZywOo pulls that one back on BlameF, so it gives them some control potentially around long if they did want it, but I think for the moment, just going to be kind of complacent with having taken over brackets. They have one player over towards Banana as well, including the bomb, so I think they are going to try and bring this back now, and that's probably the correct decision because it's just Poison, but with the AWP, I think his goal is really just get one more kill, confirm that advantage they have, and just set up for the retake, but he actually doesn't connect. No smokes.
Flash over into CT spawn. They're not smoking it off because ZywOo wants to fight, and he's going to get the fight he was looking for. Config caught in rotation. And Poison again in a position where he maybe should have got one kill, but he doesn't get it this time round. He struggled in some of these fights where he's held these angles. That leaves us in a 3v3 retake, and ZywOo is still rattling off those shots. Obo and Rush both coming in from CT, and with Apex having banana control, Vitality only need to focus on this CT position. ZywOo is closing the distance though with the AWP. This is a tough shot to hit, but he doesn't need to. Apex lines them up, and ZywOo turns onto the last man. Vitality continue to just win rounds, and it feels like even when Complexity get a chance in these rounds, the Vitality individuals are just too strong right now.
That seems to be the case. I mean, ZywOo just went ahead and quadrupled his kills there in that one round. The first time he pulled out the AWP to work with as well. And obviously Apex also stepping up there when it was needed. So even in that round without RPK being needed for a frag, they're still able to make it look pretty convincing. And again, very good placement of those flashes whenever they're moving in towards B. Just not allowing for the Oppa Poison to have any opportunities to pick them off as they go forward. And it was pretty much what they needed because, as I said, they didn't have a smoke, unfortunately, to put down towards that spawn. And we're likely just going to see double digits here for Team Vitality before Complexity can even come back out with another gun round for themselves. A couple MP9s, some pistols, few nades at least, but considering they've been struggling so much on the full gun rounds, I'm not too optimistic about this one. A reminder, actually, looking at the scoreboard, it was 2-0 at one point for Complexity. They won that pistol.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. The win streak that Vitality have gone on in these gun rounds. They have not been touched so far, and the aggression does some damage early. Config sprays through with the MP9. Good kill onto Apex to kick things off. Smoke goes down as well, so Vitality might be a bit concerned that the aggression could be coming through. Shox has now turned around to watch for that, so they're making sure they don't get flanked from that banana push. But this is taking a lot of attention right now, just this one smoke. Vitality are really focused on making sure they don't lose this banana control too heavily. So that means the A players could maybe get something going for Complexity, but Config caught on banana. Great flashbang.
Yeah, I mean, that's just been the case. The teamwork from Vitality is looking extremely strong here on Inferno. Just the basics even, and then the positioning, as I said, of those flashes always ready to follow up with them, and seemingly timing them perfect pretty much every time to catch someone from Complexity with. Again, just one player on towards that B bomb site, as it does seem like the Frenchmen definitely are going to be favoring in this direction. Obo with a Deagle and Kevlar. Smoke goes down, so that's potentially going to at least waste some time, or it maybe even better for Obo, could have forced them through the smoke, but obviously knowing what they're up against, they don't want to really take that risk, actually backing off down Banana now, and they're going to bring it back towards A. Poison's in a pretty decent position where he potentially could spot that push relatively early, but he's still not going to be able to do much about them actually going up mid, because all he has is that P250 and can't afford the challenge at range, or pretty much that happens.
That's not the fight he's looking for. Lands like one shot, which does, what, 18 damage to Masuta, and then gets a headshot in reply. And the rest of Complexity not in a position to do this. The AWP recovered for Rush, so he's going to try and get away, but Shox has already taken his teammate out of contention. And I think if Shox pushes here, he'll realize that the AWP is gone. So they could just hunt this down. Vitality's money is so good here, they might as well just rush this down. They might as well just try and take this AWP away. Rush will be going into these T apartments where Vitality are fairly close by. But I think Rush might just get away with this.
Yeah, possibly. Obviously, Vitality aren't going to ease their hunt because they have so much money. That Molotov actually could ruin them. It definitely did take away at him a little bit. Shox was in the position where he will have heard it, but not really in one where he can make it in time to do anything about the weapon being saved over. So as you said, Rush will end up being able to carry that into this round, drop it back to Poison. And overall, Complexity do have a pretty strong buy here, but even if they manage to pull back the remaining 3 rounds, they're still in such a horrible spot going into that second half. Vitality have just completely controlled this map so far. RPK has calmed down, though. He hasn't got a frag in like 2 or 3 rounds. He hasn't been needed.
I love that he's still rocking the M4 as well. He's not even going to buy the AK. He's just like, I'm using the M4 the whole half.
He's in China. All he has to do is just rebuy into nades every round, pretty much.
Yeah, maybe drop a teammate here or there if they need it. But then again, I don't think any of his teammates need drops because they're all so rich. Yeah, this is getting pretty ridiculous. Maybe Complexity can turn it round, though. If they could get 5 rounds, you could maybe envision a comeback. There's always the chance, obviously, but I think they'd want 4 or 5 rounds at least to make it at least somewhat possible for them. The problem is they're obviously against full gun rounds, and Vitality's gun rounds have showed no signs of slowing down. Molotovs being lined up for top mid. A few early nades for Vitality to again take away map control. And at least Config has a smoke for Banana this time, so he won't be going down too early here because he's currently the sole B defender for Complexity. It's about to change though, they are rotating.
Yeah, but I mean, if Config isn't able to get something done here, they could still completely give up that bomb site. Manages to get 1 at least before going down, and Poison only now getting into position. But we do see Vitality being pretty happy enough with that 1 kill, realizing that it took them quite a while to actually deal with that. They'd been shown presence for a long enough time that Complexity could have rotated a second player in, even if it was initially just that 1 player. And in the meantime, with that boost coming up there above that smoke on mid, we've actually seen Complexity manage to pull this in their favor. And with that, forced Vitality to make that decision to commit in towards B. And this time, it is not going to be working out for them. Suddenly, all left on Shox. Does actually destroy Poison in the back of the bomb site, which gives them the bomb plant. Not really going to be a big deal in terms of money, but it gives them the opportunity to try and actually play for the after plant. And how is this happening? Brings it to the 1v1. If only he knew his crosshair was perfectly on Rush as well there as he spun around. But 2 health, it's going to be so difficult now. Rush has spotted him in towards the back of that bomb site. Unfortunately, not having nades to force him out. But as I said, with the health being so low, 1 bullet to the body there is going to end it. But a very nice attempt from Shox. That is way too close for Complexity's liking. And obviously losing that many players, it does impact the buy they get in this next round.
We're starting to see some flashes of Shox here. We're starting to see some throwback rounds from him. This is really exciting to see if you're a Vitality fan. He doesn't win the round, but you see there, he's the impact player of the round for sure, because he almost wins it with those headshots. Beautifully done as he gets that 3rd kill especially. Doesn't work out for the round win, but like you said, it keeps the pressure on Complexity. It just shows, I think, why Vitality have been so successful. The fact that Shox can nearly win a clutch situation like that. They've had so many good rounds. And Masuta has a MAC 10. He has $12,000 and a MAC 10, Dean. I love it. You could choose any weapon in the game right now, and he's decided the MAC 10 is the one for him. So he's going to be flying in first, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we seen it back on Mirage, I believe it was. You pointed out that Shox went for the MAC 10 when they had loads of money. It does just imply that we're going to see these quicker paced plays, and that's exactly the case. The MAC 10 leads the charge. Sure, it goes down, but at the very least, it did create some space. Apparently not enough, considering Complexity still winning out the majority of those aim duels. Apex, though, left alone, has been spotted. Knows there's 1 player on the bomb site, unsure of obviously where Poison's coming from. Normally over towards that B side of the map. What? How is he alive? What?
Oh no. Oh no, that sums up this game for Complexity.
What?
I feel like I felt your rage there, Dean. You're imagining you're a Complexity player right now, and you're just dumbfounded.
Oh my god. He was in the open, completely blinded. The fact that he kept his composure there to just tap away, man, was insane.
Just gonna let that one sit for a bit, because, man, that is A shame for Complexity, but here we go. Config only gets the 1 kill on the spray. Could have maybe been more. At this point, I'm not sure how much it matters. Complexity are going to try their damnedest, but their best hasn't been good enough against this Vitality squad, who are just pulling all the tricks out to win this game right now.
Oh, I think my heart's beating a little bit too quick after that one. I'm not even going to lie to you. Almost managing to catch that aggression there as well. Through the banana smoke, okay. Apex just straight through the smoke indeed. He's actually just going to spam away. Oboe goes down. They still have poison towards this B bomb site, but at this point, as long as Vitality work together, they have a 4-on-2. They'll be able to outnumber whichever bomb site they move towards. Okay, a little glimpse of hope they're being found with 1 kill being pulled back from poison. But as I said, Vitality, they still have the numbers advantage. They just need to stick together, ensure that they go in towards a bomb site, and at the very least, trade it out. And as they bring it over towards A, I was going to say Rush, pushing up through the apartments, maybe could have cut off the bomb. With an MP9, though, decides to stick around in Boiler instead and try and get that backstab. But no, it is read by Zywoo. He spins around just in time.
Oh my god.
All right.
Complexity is so mad right now. There's nothing they can do. Vitality are having their way with Complexity. Even when they get the right reads, they can't get the right plays. That summed up this half, and unless Complexity change things, this one might be all but over. Make sure to come back in the second half to see if there's any chance for Complexity.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hunting for the bread. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm, far from calm. I know you.
Well, if Complexity want to win this series, they have got a long road ahead of them after that first half. A 12-3 deficit for them to overcome. My name is Hawker, joined by Dean. Dean, do you have any insight, any hope for Complexity in the second half?
I can't say I do. With how Vitality are playing, it's just a whole nother level from them right now. They should be able to close this out. Even if we start seeing Complexity edging it back in a little bit, I feel like with how they've all been playing individually, that it will be inevitable that they can just get the rounds to close this one out, unless Complexity just become a whole nother team pretty much here.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I kind of knew you were going to give that answer when I asked the question, but I asked it anyway.
If you asked for tips, I would have said start killing blind people. And don't take that sentence out of context, because you know what I mean.
Instantly clipped out of context, of course. We are seeing the top mid push, though. Complexity sticking together with their nades. 2 nades landing in the pit. That's huge damage. RPK dealt with, but ZywOo fighting on the bomb site. 3 quick kills. Huge damage done by ZywOo. And now BlameF has got a 1v2 on his hands. And it may be doable, but without the Kevlar, it's slightly more difficult than he might want it to be.
Yeah, as long as Vitality working together, they're definitely going to be favored in this one. Again, some flashes also available alongside that kit. Moving in from short, though, Apex gets spotted and instantly domed by that USB. BlameF looking to try and play around the pillar. Running down the time somewhat at this point. Of course, as we said, Masuda does have that defuse kit, but it's in a position where he can't really afford to just stick it. So he's trying to bait out this headshot, eventually being forced to actually go forward. And as we see BlameF swinging out there, expecting them to be a little bit closer. Unfortunately, he does get his head taken off, and plenty of time for the defuse. Very nice attempt, to be fair from BlameF, getting a 3K of his own, but those 3 one-taps from ZywOo were just incredible. That pretty much sealed the fate right there of Complexity in this matchup.
Yeah, he shouldn't get away with 3 there, but ZywOo is the kind of guy that can do that to you. And then, even when it looks like they can win the round, despite the individual prowess... By the way, sorry, have Vitality taken a tactical timeout here? Is this really necessary, guys? You're winning 13-3. But anyway...
Is it tactical? Yeah, well, they haven't said anything about... Oh, damn it, my escape key just bounced off my keyboard. Living up to its name, I suppose. But yeah, no, I guess it could have been a technical issue. They didn't say anything, though.
It came up on the HUD as saying tactical timeout, so that's what I'm going off. But I don't know.
It was a tactical, yeah, I believe so. I don't know. Oh. I guess wanting to see what way they're going to buy up here.
To be fair, Complexity did get that bomb plant, right? Yeah, so they've got to be aware of this force buy.
That must have been the goal. You can see they've definitely prioritized overall the weapons, but they also wanted to make sure they have a good mixture and that they have enough utility to actually hold off any quick plays, and also eventually towards the end have the smokes to hold off those choke points and try and actually delay the tease. But yeah, Complexity, I mean, this is do or die. If they don't pick up this round, at that point they're looking at an eco, probably just another force buy if we're being real.
Kind of an all-in move at this point of the game for Complexity. Not much weight behind it, considering they're 13-3 down, but they've got the 3 AKs out, so it's definitely doable for them. Slow start to the round, which I think I like from Complexity here. I could definitely see a world in which Vitality just pushed and tried to make solo plays, so I think holding this default makes sense. But Vitality are playing it pretty cautiously at the start of this round. 4 players stacked on this A site. Masuta solo holding Banana. He'll just be looking for the information, and he may be about to get some information because there are a few players grouped up for Complexity, and Masuta, well, he gets the information, but it costs him his life.
Yeah, a little bit awkward. They're able to rotate Apex in quite quickly, but he only has a UMP as well, so if that commitment did come true, he probably wouldn't have been able to do a lot about it himself. Config still trying to challenge on long right there. I'm not sure if that's needed. Complexity definitely want to try and use their numbers here, move in together. But ZywOo catches that timing actually perfectly. That's the bomb now that goes down. Delay is just a slight bit more, but it is allowed for all 4 players now to be around this bomb site as they begin to move forward, and it's just destruction. Living up to how the rest of the map has been so far.
Yeah, there's been quite a few rounds now where not only have Vitality had the individual success, but it feels like they've had a great read as to what Complexity are doing. And that A stack is another example of it. The UMP of Apex is able to trade off the back of his teammates, I think because Complexity just weren't expecting so many players to be stacked on the A site. And now, with a 14-3 lead, it's hard to see a way in which Vitality would end up losing this series. They are in a fantastic position. And this round is another one where Complexity can't go for the full investment, just some pistols, Deegs across the board. Okay, and a team nade for a bit of fun. Apex taking a bit of damage from Masuta. It's not too bad for them. They'll be okay. At least I hope they'll be okay.
Well, I mean, it could help the Pistols a little bit, but overall, it's not the biggest detriment. There'll have to be some other mistakes or some other crazy shots definitely being connected for Complexity. It's not going to be the round decider. But I mean, I just don't see too much hope in this round for them. They're going to most likely be trying to play for an overtime where they need to pull back 12 rounds just to get that. And then, of course, at that point, try and actually win it out in the overtime. If they got there, then yeah, sure, the momentum would definitely be going in their favor. But I'm not too hopeful of that happening. Even if they start building up some rounds, as I said, with just everyone on Vitality being in a position where they're stepping up when it's needed. We've seen pretty much all the players have a round where they've gone insane. So it's just not a hopeful position for Complexity to be in. And it's a little bit upsetting after we've seen how close the first map was, especially.
No smoke for Complexity here. So they really just need to rely on getting this quick kill onto Masuta and then running onto the site. And that's what they're going to try to do. Masuta's playing safe here. He's not going to see them quickly. So Rush can close the distance onto the bomb site. This is maybe the one chance Complexity could have in this round. But Masuta here to deal with them. Quick kills. And there's no chance for them, Dean. Why did I even pretend there was a chance? Vitality are too hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to build up some hope. CS is a game where anything can happen on any given day. But I mean, it's not like Vitality are going to instantly just cool off within the space of a few moments. So I'm really not a believer right now. Complexity, unfortunately, haven't been able to put up a competitive Inferno, which was something that I predicted would happen. I predicted that it would be a close map here on number 3. I was saying, okay, sure, Vitality kind of stomped out the second half of Mirage, were able to close down it relatively convincingly, but I thought Complexity would get back to their normal ways here on Inferno.
What is this?
Very far from that, yes, right down mid. It's actually the MP9 a shock so far that's finding those opening frags. My auto director not helping me out at all, unfortunately, but it does eventually show me that one frag from Rush. That's a small consolidation for myself, being able to at least see one kill, and it's only a small consolidation at that point as well for Complexity, because the game is over.